Hey, it looks like I'm live. Is anybody else on here yet? All right, I don't see anybody on here yet, but hope you guys are all having a good week. Um, yeah, I just wanted to pop on here and talk about a few things. Kind of hoping the audio is picking up. I wasn't able to figure out how to hook up my camera to the computer yet, so it's not the best video quality. Um, anyways, I'm just going to start talking about some of the things I said I was going to talk about, see if anybody kind of shows up. I will set it up so that you guys can see this after the fact too. The first thing I wanted to talk about was updates to Patreon. As I kind of approach this new chapter with 40 Times Around and with my own life, just kind of rethinking things, restructuring some things. I did post that on Patreon, and just based on some of the comments, doesn't seem like anybody's too concerned with some minimal changes. So what I'm kind of thinking is, if you see tier 2, the Adventure Secret tier right now, they have access to behind the scenes footage, and that's been the thing that I'm kind of struggling with. So I'm actually going to swap that out for a monthly live stream, something kind of like this. Yeah, so I'm going to switch the behind the scenes footage that now is going to be a monthly live stream, because that'll be a little bit easier for me to do from the road. If I'm in a hotel and I have some Wi-Fi, I'll be able to pop on here, hang out with some of you guys, and then tier 1 will have access to that after the fact. So that's how the tiers are going to kind of play into that. As far as changes to Patreon, that's really the only thing that's going to change. I haven't been too structured about video suggestions or some of the other things in the tiers, but if you guys ever have any ideas you want to see a video made about, or if you have questions, that's always kind of just an open door. I've never done this before, so I'm not really sure. This screen is kind of unfamiliar to me. Is anybody on here that can just leave a comment so I can see that this is actually working? I see there's a couple people on here. Anybody? Okay, I'll just assume this is working. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about, we hit that milestone on Patreon, which is so cool. I actually have seen a few new people pop up on Patreon in the last couple of days, so welcome to everybody that I haven't had a chance to say welcome to. It really means the world to me that you wanted to join up here and be a part of this with me. So we hit a milestone, and the goal for that was, once I hit that goal, I was going to rent a bike. Now, I have a trip coming up separate of the big motorcycle trip. I was trying to incorporate this bike rental. That was the goal we hit. I would rent a bike. That trip is currently up in the air, so I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with that before we do a vote on what motorcycle I rent and do a review on and that kind of thing. So, like I said, kind of up in the air on that. That I will probably be getting back to you on probably mid next month. Yeah, I really wish I knew if this was working. Yeah, I don't see anything on here, but I see a little clock counting, so I guess I'm probably really live. I was a little bit nervous doing this, to be honest with you. When I do the camera thing, it's a little different when I'm out in the woods or out in the desert by myself, and you know, there's that buffer of like editing a video and taking out any mistakes or anything like that. So I was a little nervous about this. The next thing I wanted to talk about, yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the route. And so basically, what I'm doing is I'm leaving indefinitely. I'm shutting down my apartment. I won't be paying rent anymore, and I'll be living on the road. So this is an indefinite plan that I'm hoping lasts several years. Right now, I'm taking it in a 6 month chunk, and that 6 months is going to be spent in the continental United States. I'm trying to figure out how I can get into Canada. There's some issues with having a lien holder on my bike. The bike isn't paid off yet, and they're not so inclined to let me go into Canada with the bike. I'm trying to figure that out because I know a few of you live in Canada, and I would love to come visit you guys. So I'm trying to figure that out. I got a couple more months to kind of come up with a plan for that. Basically, the 6 month window is going to start in May. So we got May, June, July, August, September, and then a little bit of October. I'm going to be doing a big circle around the United States. I have this map of the United States. So essentially, what I'm doing is, well, I'm kind of trying to hit all the national parks, actually, depending on the state of things. I don't know. They were closed for a while. I believe they're open currently, temporarily. So kind of up in the air on that. To be honest with you, my plan is to hit all the national parks if I can, and also hit all the 48 states, of course. Now, real quick before I continue talking about the route, the reason I don't want to make that public and the reason I'm only sharing that with patrons is because I have a loose idea and I actually have dates written down. That's really just to give me sort of a framework. I'm hesitant to put that out there because I don't want people to start trying to book dates with me and set meetups and all of a sudden this loose itinerary becomes a rigid plan and people are getting let down and I'm not able to make it to certain things. So I'm trying to keep that freedom. There is structure to it because there kind of has to be. For my case, if you were planning a big trip, I would say stay away from structure as much as possible. For my case, I'm trying to build a little structure around it because I'm trying to manage this channel on YouTube and a business and everything else. So there has to be a little structure for me. I just don't want that to be public because then I feel like people are going to want to have certain dates to meet me. And it's a lot easier for me to say, hey, I'm rolling into Seattle early next week. I'll, maybe as I get into town, kind of say, hey, let's do a meetup at this coffee shop or something like that. And it just gives me a little more freedom, not making my exact plan public. But the reason I wanted to tell you guys is because I want to meet as many of you as possible because you guys are important to me. And, so definitely if you guys are in the area I'm traveling in, okay, there it is. Not sure what's going on there. Not sure if that's my internet connection or what. Not really sure why that keeps happening. Yeah, like I said, this is my first live stream, so kind of figuring it out as I go, and the screen is not very intuitive. What I'm looking at isn't really what I would. Okay, seems like it's going right now. So, anyways, just try to give you a brief. Okay. I wonder if, okay. So really not sure what's going on with this internet connection right now. That's a little frustrating. Okay, back again. Okay, it looks like it's working right now. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. If this keeps happening, I might have. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to cut this short. See what's going on with my internet connection, and I'm afraid it's just gonna keep happening if I keep talking. And I'm not really sure if this is working anyway. Jeez. So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with my internet. I'll write a little post on Patreon and let you know if I'm able to figure it out in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, if I can get it figured out, I'll hop back on here in a few minutes. Otherwise, I'll reschedule this. Really not sure what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna go figure this out. I will get back to you. I'll write a little post on Patreon if I can figure this out. Thank you for those of you who did show up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that internet connection though. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Like I said, thanks for watching, and I will fill you in on the route in a little bit. Like I said, I'll fill you in on